interracial dating or marriage. It's a very touchy topic. Well, I guess it's touchy depending on where you are in this world. I think in certain countries or in certain areas of individual countries, it is it's an issue that is either embraced or it creates tension between communities. Now, just to let you know where I stand on the issue, I don't think it should create tension. I think people should have the freedom to get into relationships with people as they see fit. And I don't think race, ethnic origin, all those things should be barriers towards people coming together in love and happiness or whatever else. But there are a lot of issues because it does create tension in a lot of communities or within a lot of countries. There are a lot of issues that you have to really think about if you are getting into an interracial relationship. How much you think about these issues depend on you as an individual and how it affects you. But I think the main issue, if you are thinking of entering an interracial relationship, is if that relationship is going to be healthy, the person that you're getting in a relationship with has to have similar racial views as you. Um, there's a lot of layers to racial views, and it depends on the individual. I mean, an individual could be themselves racist, or an individual could be anti-racist, could believe in multiculturalism and sees, everybody as being part of the human family and really feels that strongly. And then you have individuals that don't think of race at all. They don't have any real opinion on it. They don't really give it any thought. They don't have an opinion about their own race, and they don't really have strong opinions about others. So you have these, those are the three main ones that I could think of that you will encounter on a regular basis. And if you fall in any one of those categories, if you are getting into an interracial relationship, you have to get in that relationship with someone that feels the same way you do. I think one of the stranger things is that you do have people who are racist that get into interracial relationships. You may have encountered that personally, or you may have seen it on television or through history. There's been major race issues throughout the history of the world, but throughout all those times, there were always interracial relationships, no matter how great the racism was. And some of the people that were very racist still engaged in interracial relationships. So that's one of the weird things, that you do have people that are racist that engage in interracial relationships, and they're going to be in a relationship that's going to be healthy. The person that they're in a relationship with have to have those same views. Strange thing is that you might have people that hate a particular race or people, and they'll be in a relationship with someone of that race. And if that's not going to cause tension, that person that they are in a relationship with have to feel the same way they do. So that person has to be self-hating or something like that. But they have to agree with that racist person on those issues of race if they're going to be in a successful relationship. If you're in a relationship with someone that believes in anti-racism and racial justice, you have to kind of feel the same way so that you guys are on the same page. Otherwise, it's definitely going to cause some issues if you're in a interracial relationship and say you don't believe in racial justice or anti-racism. The last group is the people who do not have strong feelings on race and don't have a real opinion on it. Interesting thing about people like that is that they might get in a relationship with anyone. They may be in a relationship with someone that's racist. They may be in a relationship with someone who's just like them, who doesn't have any strong feelings on race. Or they may be in a interracial relationship with someone who really believes in racial justice and anti-racism. That will probably create tension because since they don't have any strong feelings on the matter, and their partner, if their partner does, let's say their partner is racist or anti-racist, there might be a discussion that comes up. Maybe the partner assumes that person feels the same way they do. And that person probably will express opinion that makes it obvious that they either don't or don't feel strongly about it, and that could create tension in a relationship, especially if it's an interracial relationship. that probably will lead that person to avoid racial discussions, since they don't feel strongly about it. That can create issues because they might be in a relationship with someone that's racist, and they'll try to sweep it under the rug and don't want to discuss it that much, try to avoid it since they don't feel strongly about their issue themselves. So that's the basic problem. And the thing is, you don't really know what someone else's racial feelings are unless you bring it up in conversation. And those are conversations I tend to avoid because the polarizing nature of racial discussion. And you don't know, just because someone's your friend or someone you know, and you think, oh, well, this person's of a different race, they're my friend, they must have a liberal view on race. But sometimes that's not the case. So you don't really know that until you have these discussions. And I think the best possible way is try to think about it before it happens, because sometimes it could be a surprise. Maybe there's something in the news that you feel strongly for. Say if you're someone that's anti-racist or racist, and you bring this up to your partner, and they have an opinion or response that's totally different than what you would expect. And that can lead to argument, that can lead to a rift. So I think people have to think of ways to bring up race in a way where it avoids friction. And you can maybe make certain feelings known without it being a source of negative discussion or arguments. It kind of reminds me of when Starbucks was trying to get their baristas to talk about race. I think they ended that experiment very quickly. I didn't think that was the time and the place, and I think that puts undue pressure on their employees to bring up those type of subjects. And basically, you don't know the personal feelings or the politics of your employee. They may alienate your customers by having extreme views themselves that just doesn't mix well with the public. But that's just one of my thoughts on this particular issue. This is a very complex issue, and there's a lot of ways to look at it. And there may be some things that I didn't think of right now, but that's for future follow-up videos.